The sound of knocking echoes through the silent corridors of your home at the darkest hour of night. Your heart pounds as you wonder who could possibly be seeking entry when the world sleeps. But before you take even a single step toward that door, let me tell you a truth that could save your soul, your family, and your very existence. This is not merely a story of fear, but a revelation of hidden realities that dwell between our world and the unseen realm of the Jinn. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, we begin this journey into the mysteries that surround us every night, when the veils between dimensions grow thin and the creatures of smokeless fire move freely among us. The wise Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned us of these very moments, these critical seconds when our response to an unexpected knock could determine whether we invite blessing or calamity into our lives. Imagine the scene that has played out countless times throughout history. A family sleeps peacefully in their home, surrounded by the quiet protection of Allah's mercy. The night is deep, the air still, when suddenly sharp knocks pierce the silence. Knock, knock, knock. The sound is urgent, insistent, as if whoever stands beyond that wooden barrier demands immediate attention. The father of the house stirs, his protective instincts awakening. His wife touches his shoulder, whispering concerns about who could possibly need them at such an hour. But what if I told you that the one knocking might not be human at all? What if behind that door stands a creature made of fire, invisible to your eyes, but very real in its power to influence, deceive, and potentially destroy your peace? The world of the Jinn is not a fairy tale or ancient superstition. It is a reality confirmed by the Qur'an itself, where Allah the Most High tells us that He created Jinn from smokeless fire, beings with free will, just like humans, capable of both good and evil. The darkness of night has always been the realm where Jinn feel most comfortable, most powerful. While humans retreat into their homes seeking rest and safety, the creatures of fire begin their activities. Some Jinn are righteous believers who worship Allah and cause no harm. But others, the devils among them, the shaitans, spend their nights seeking ways to mislead, frighten, and corrupt the children of Adam. They understand human psychology perfectly, knowing exactly how to exploit our curiosity, our compassion, and our desire to help others. When the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us about the dangers that surround us, he was not speaking in metaphors or ancient folklore. He was revealing divine knowledge given to him by Allah, knowledge meant to protect his ummah from very real spiritual threats. Among these teachings was a clear warning about responding to unexpected visitors in the darkness of night. The wisdom behind this guidance runs deeper than simple security concerns or fear of human intruders. Consider the authentic hadith, where the Prophet, peace be upon him, instructed his companions about the etiquette of visiting others. He emphasized that visits should occur during appropriate hours when people are awake and prepared to receive guests. He warned against surprising people during their private moments or when they are vulnerable. But beyond these social courtesies lies a deeper spiritual wisdom about the nature of legitimate human interaction versus the deceptive approaches of Jinn. The creatures of smokeless fire possess abilities that humans cannot comprehend. They can take various forms, appearing as men, women, children, or even beloved family members. Their voices can mimic those of people you know and trust. They can create illusions so convincing that your own eyes would swear the person at your door is your neighbor, your friend, or even a stranger genuinely in need of help. This is not mere shape-shifting as depicted in fantasy stories. This is a documented ability that Jinn possess, mentioned in Islamic literature and confirmed by scholars throughout the centuries. The famous incident of the Jinn who appeared to the Prophet's companion Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, illustrates this perfectly. A creature took the form of an old man seeking help, appearing so convincing that even Umar initially felt compelled to assist. Only through divine guidance and spiritual discernment did he recognize the true nature of his visitor. The Jinn fled immediately when detected, proving that these encounters are not products of imagination, but genuine interactions with unseen beings. But why do jinn choose the nighttime for such deceptions? The answer lies in understanding both their nature and our human vulnerability during these hours. Night is when our rational faculties are diminished by fatigue, when our spiritual defenses are lowered, and when we are most susceptible to fear and confusion. Jinn exploit this vulnerability, knowing that a person awakened suddenly from sleep is more likely to act on impulse rather than careful thought. Furthermore, the darkness itself provides cover for their activities. While jinn can move unseen even in daylight, the night offers them additional psychological advantages. Humans naturally feel more vulnerable in darkness, more willing to believe unusual sounds or sights, more prone to making hasty decisions. A knock at the door during daylight might prompt you to look through a window or ask questions before opening. The same knock at midnight creates urgency, fear, and the desire to resolve the situation quickly. The spiritual dimension of this warning becomes even more profound when we consider the Islamic understanding of how homes are protected. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us specific supplications and practices that create spiritual barriers around our dwellings. Reciting Ayat al-Kursi, the last two verses of Surah al-Baqarah, and other protective verses establishes a divine shield that righteous humans can pass through freely, but which creates discomfort for evil jinn. However, if we ourselves invite something evil inside by opening our doors without proper caution, we potentially neutralize these protections. This principle extends beyond physical doors to spiritual and emotional boundaries as well. When we respond hastily to unexpected demands, when we allow fear or curiosity to override wisdom, we create openings that malevolent forces can exploit. The door becomes a metaphor for all the ways we might inadvertently welcome negative influences into our lives, our families, and our spiritual well-being. The scholars of Islam have documented numerous accounts throughout history of families who experienced strange phenomena after responding to mysterious nighttime visitors. Homes where unexplained sounds began occurring, where family members started having disturbing dreams, where an atmosphere of unease settled over once peaceful households. In many cases, the problems began immediately after someone opened their door to an unexpected visitor who appeared at an inappropriate hour. These are not ghost stories or superstitions designed to frighten people unnecessarily. They are documented cases studied by Islamic scholars who understand the reality of jinn interaction with human society. The purpose of sharing such accounts is not to create paranoia, but to emphasize the wisdom behind prophetic guidance and to illustrate why certain precautions are necessary. The Qur'an itself confirms the reality of jinn influence in human affairs. Allah tells us about the jinn who worked for Prophet Sulaiman, peace be upon him, showing us that these beings are real entities with whom humans can interact. The Holy Book also warns us about the shaitans among the jinn who seek to lead humans astray through whispers, deceptions, and false promises. When such beings can influence our thoughts and emotions through spiritual means, how much greater is their potential impact when we give them physical access to our homes and families? But this teaching should not fill us with paralyzing fear. Islam provides complete guidance for protection against all forms of evil, whether from humans, jinn, or any other source. The key lies in following prophetic guidance consistently and understanding the spiritual principles behind seemingly simple rules. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, advised caution about nighttime visitors, he was providing a practical application of deeper spiritual truths about protection, wisdom, and trust in Allah's providence. Consider the beauty of Islamic guidance in this matter. We are not told to live in constant fear of unseen threats, nor are we advised to become suspicious of every person who might genuinely need help. Instead, we are given clear, practical guidelines that protect us while maintaining our humanity and compassion. If someone truly needs emergency assistance, there are ways to help without immediately opening your door. You can speak through the door, call for additional help, or wait until you can properly verify the situation. The wisdom extends to understanding the difference between genuine emergencies and suspicious circumstances. A real emergency usually involves people you know or can verify. Situations where other neighbors are also awakened and involved, or scenarios where emergency services would logically be called. Mysterious individuals appearing alone at your door with vague requests for entry rarely represent legitimate emergencies that require your immediate, unprotected response. This principle becomes even more important when we consider the responsibility we bear for our families. As heads of households, we are accountable not only for our own safety, but for the protection of our spouses, children, and anyone else under our care. Islamic teachings emphasize this responsibility repeatedly, reminding us that Allah will question us about how we safeguarded those entrusted to us. Opening your door to unknown nighttime visitors potentially exposes everyone in your home to whatever intentions, human or otherwise, that visitor might harbor. The psychological impact on family members, especially children, cannot be underestimated either. When parents respond fearfully or hastily to nighttime disturbances, children absorb this anxiety and learn that their home is not truly safe. Conversely, when parents demonstrate calm, wise responses based on Islamic guidance, children learn to trust in Allah's protection and their parents' wisdom. They understand that safety comes not from hiding in fear, but from following divine guidance and taking appropriate precautions. Throughout Islamic history, the greatest scholars and saints have been those who balanced trust in Allah with practical wisdom. They did not test Allah's protection by deliberately exposing themselves to known dangers, nor did they live in paralyzing fear of every potential threat. Instead, they followed prophetic guidance precisely because they understood it as divine mercy designed to keep believers safe while allowing them to live productive, faithful lives. The famous scholar Ibn Taymiyyah, may Allah have mercy on him, wrote extensively about the reality of jinn interaction with humans. He documented cases where families suffered greatly because they failed to take proper precautions against spiritual threats. But he also emphasized that following Islamic guidance provides complete protection for those who implement it sincerely and consistently. His writings show us that this is not a matter of superstition, but of understanding and respecting the full reality of existence as Allah has created it. In our modern world, this ancient wisdom becomes even more relevant. Technology has given us new ways to verify visitors before opening doors, from peepholes to security cameras to intercom systems. These tools can help us implement prophetic guidance more effectively, allowing us to assess situations without creating the vulnerabilities that immediate door opening might create. However, the spiritual principles remain unchanged, regardless of technological advances. The practice of seeking Allah's protection through specific supplications becomes crucial in these moments. When awakened by unexpected knocking, the first response should be spiritual, not physical. Reciting A'udhu Billahi min ash-shaytani rajim, seeking Allah's protection from Satan, followed by Ayat al-Kursi and other protective verses, creates a spiritual barrier that evil jinn cannot penetrate. This should be done before any interaction with whoever stands beyond your door. Additionally, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us to begin any significant action with Bismillah, in the name of Allah. This simple phrase carries tremendous spiritual power, invoking divine protection and guidance for whatever follows. If you must eventually interact with a nighttime visitor, beginning with this invocation ensures that Allah's blessing accompanies your actions and that any deceptive influences are repelled by divine light. The community aspect of this teaching also deserves emphasis. In traditional Islamic societies, neighborhoods were close-knit communities where people knew each other well and looked out for one another's safety. If someone had a genuine emergency at night, neighbors would naturally be involved, and the situation would not involve isolated individuals approaching single homes. This community protection still exists in many Muslim societies and can be reconstructed even in modern urban environments through building relationships with faithful neighbors. When we examine this teaching in the context of overall Islamic guidance about protection and safety, we see that it fits perfectly with other prophetic instructions. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us to lock our doors at night, to seek Allah's protection before sleeping, to maintain spiritual purity in our homes through regular prayer and Qur'an recitation, and to be cautious about allowing unknown influences into our lives. The warning about nighttime visitors is simply one component of a comprehensive system designed to maintain physical, spiritual, and psychological well-being. The beauty of Islamic guidance lies in its completeness and practicality. We are not given abstract philosophical principles that are difficult to implement. Instead, we receive specific, actionable guidance that protects us while allowing us to maintain normal, productive lives. Following these teachings does not require living in isolation or constant fear. It requires wisdom, caution, and trust in Allah's protection when we follow His guidance through His messenger, peace be upon him. As we consider the implications of this teaching for our daily lives, we must remember that protection comes through a combination of practical precautions and spiritual practices. We lock our doors, but we also recite protective supplications. We use wisdom in responding to unexpected situations, but we also trust in Allah's ultimate protection over those who follow His guidance. We take care of our family's physical safety, but we also ensure their spiritual well-being through Islamic education and practice. The ultimate lesson here transcends the specific issue of nighttime visitors. It teaches us about the importance of spiritual awareness in all aspects of life, the reality of unseen influences that affect our daily existence, and the perfect wisdom contained in prophetic guidance. When we understand that our Prophet, peace be upon him, was sent as a mercy to all creation, and that his teachings are designed to protect and guide us, we approach such instructions with gratitude rather than fear. This guidance also reminds us of our constant need for Allah's protection and guidance. We cannot navigate this world safely through our own wisdom and strength alone. We need divine guidance to recognize dangers we cannot see, to avoid traps we cannot detect, and to make decisions that protect not only our immediate interests, but our long-term spiritual well-being. The simple act of not opening our door to unexpected nighttime visitors becomes an act of faith, a demonstration of trust in prophetic wisdom over our own impulses. As you lie in your bed tonight, surrounded by the peaceful darkness that Allah has made for rest and restoration, remember that you are not alone. Allah's angels record your deeds. His mercy encompasses those who seek His protection, and His guidance provides safety for those who follow it. If you hear an unexpected knock at your door, you now possess the wisdom to respond correctly, protecting yourself, your family, and your spiritual well-being. The knock may never come, but the principle will serve you in countless other situations where quick decisions must be made and where spiritual awareness proves more valuable than immediate action. This is the beauty of Islamic teaching. Every specific instruction contains universal principles that guide us toward wisdom, safety, and success in this world and the next. When that knock comes in the darkness of night, remember the words of your Prophet, peace be upon him. Remember the protection available through Allah's guidance, and choose wisdom over impulse, caution over curiosity, and divine guidance over worldly assumptions. Your home will remain a sanctuary, your family will stay protected, and you will have demonstrated the practical faith that characterizes true believers in every generation. The night may hold mysteries and unseen visitors, but it also holds Allah's protection for those who seek it and follow the guidance He has provided through His final messenger, peace be upon him. Sleep peacefully, knowing that wisdom and faith provide the strongest locks, the most effective security systems, and the surest protection against all forms of evil, whether seen or unseen, human or jinn.